Okay, imagine this for a second. You're maybe a scuba diver way down deep, and suddenly you're fighting for your life against some crazy current.
Yeah, or maybe picture being a rescue doctor, literally pulling someone back from the edge.
Exactly. Or think about those teams making these incredibly high-stakes calls, like 1,000 feet down in a dark cave, no mistakes allowed.
Intense situations.
Totally. These aren't just, extreme adventure moments. They're situations where the art of risk-taking, well, it becomes the literal difference between life and death.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today we're doing a deep dive into The Art of Risk by Richard Harris. It's this really extraordinary book that it challenges how we usually think about risk.
It really does.
Our mission here is to kind of unpack how some people stay incredibly calm in these impossible situations. How does the brain even make decisions under that much pressure?
And importantly, how you listening can maybe start to master the risks in your own life.
Right. Could be a big career change, a relationship thing, or even just, a tough conversation you need to have.
Yeah.
We've looked at a bunch of summaries to get the core ideas here.
And you might think initially that risk is just, madness. Or maybe pure luck, like rolling the dice.
Yeah, that's the common view, isn't it?
But the author, Dr. Richard Harris, he's actually a real-life hero himself, an anesthesiologist and expert cave diver involved in things like the Thai cave rescue. He teaches us something different.
Okay.
He shows that risk-taking isn't really random or reckless. It's actually a skill. It's like an art form you can learn.
An art form. So it's really about mindset then, not just randomness. It's not about just jumping in without thinking.
Exactly. A smart risk-taker doesn't act impulsively. They prepare, they plan, meticulously, and they work on maintaining mental balance.
Almost like an artist.
Right.
Thinking about each brushstroke.
That's a great analogy, knowing the impact of every move. And like you said, this isn't just for, adventurers climbing Everest or diving deep caves.
No, it applies to everyday stuff too.
Absolutely. Career changes, big relationship decisions, any major choice, really. The key question is always, do you truly understand the consequences? Good and bad. And are you actually prepared for them?
Okay, so if it's about preparation and balance, how do we even get there? We probably need to understand what's going on inside our heads, right? The brain science bit.
Exactly. Because in any risky situation, your brain's ancient alarm system kicks in, the amygdala.
The fear center.
Right. It triggers that fight or flight response. Think of it like a super sensitive car alarm just blaring the second it senses potential danger. Heart races, palms sweat.
And that's usually when rational thought just kind of evaporates, doesn't it?
Pretty much. When the amygdala is going full blast, your prefrontal cortex, which is like the logical, strategic CEO part of your brain, often gets sidelined. It's hard to think clearly when the alarm's screaming.
But there's also the dopamine factor, isn't there? That chemical kick you get after taking a risk and succeeding. Explains thrill seekers, maybe.
Definitely plays a role. That reward reinforces the behavior for some people. But here's the really interesting insight from the book.
Okay.
Fear isn't actually your enemy. It's a primitive survival tool, yes, an inner alarm. But it's also a signal, maybe even a mentor, a call for preparation.
So it's telling you to be alert, not necessarily to just stop dead in your tracks.
Precisely. The difference between an expert risk taker and someone who's just reckless is that the expert understands their fear. They learn to manage it, control it, and act despite it.
Okay, so if fear is this alarm, how do you, turn down the volume? How do you tame it? The book must have some practical advice there.
Oh, absolutely. Really useful techniques. First up is recognition. Just acknowledge the fear. Don't try to push it away or pretend it's not there.
So name it to tame it, kind of.
Exactly. Giving it a label like fear of failure or fear of what people think actually weakens its hold a bit because you're facing it directly.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Second, action as the antidote. Take small, deliberate steps forward, even when you feel the fear. Action itself tends to lessen the fear's power over you.
Right, momentum.
Third, breathing and grounding. Simple things like the 4-7-8 breathing technique. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and breathe out slowly for 8.
I've heard of that one. It really works.
It can dramatically calm down that amygdala response and help bring your logical brain, the prefrontal cortex, back online.
Interesting. What else is in the toolkit?
Fourth is mental rehearsal. Actually visualize yourself successfully navigating the risky situation step by step.
Like athletes do before a game.
Precisely the same principle. You're training your brain for the real event. And finally, self-talk. Actively change your internal script.
Instead of, oh God, I can't do this.
All right, change it to something like, this is challenging, but this risk will make me stronger, whatever happens. Focus on growth, not just the potential downside.
So the takeaway isn't about eliminating fear because you can't, it's wired in.
Nope, can't eliminate it.
But you can understand it, manage it, maybe even use it as a guide. It's about being aware of the alarm and then consciously choosing your response.
That's it, exactly. And building on that, the book looks at how experts make those split-second decisions when everything's on the line.
Yeah, like the helicopter rescue pilot or the surgeon you mentioned earlier. How do they stay clear-headed in total chaos?
Well, Harris actually shares a story about a helicopter rescue where the team froze up, but he managed to stay calm enough to make a quick, unconventional call, sedating the patient to get them out safely.
Wow. That kind of clarity under pressure is incredible. And he offers a framework for making decisions before you take the leap, right? Something called CLEAR.
Yes, the CLEAR framework. It's a really practical 5-step process. C is for clarify the risk. What is actually at stake here? What are the realistic best and worst outcomes?
Okay, get specific. Then L.
L is for list the outcomes. And be brutally honest. Can you truly handle the consequences if things go south? Can you live with the worst case scenario?
Important reality check.
E. E is evaluate emotions. Are you making this decision out of fear, anger, maybe even overexcitement or ego? Are your emotions clouding your judgment?
Got to check yourself. Okay, A.
A is assess preparation. Do you genuinely have what you need? Enough information, the right skills, adequate resources? Have you done the homework?
Be honest about your readiness. And finally, R.
R is respond with intention. Make a conscious, thoughtful decision. Don't just drift into it. Don't procrastinate, but also don't be impulsive. Act deliberately.
That makes a lot of sense. He also talks about that point, the point where you can't turn back anymore.
The point of no return, yeah. It's critical. Decisions need to be solid, committed before you cross that line, because once you're past it, you're all in.
So the ideal is to cultivate calm before things get crazy. Make the big calls when you're thinking straight, not in a panic.
Exactly. Seek advice, sure, but don't get stinking analysis paralysis by asking everyone. And you have to accept that no decision is ever guaranteed to be 100% perfect. You make the best call you can with the information you have.
It feels like a really solid way to approach big choices, especially when you feel overwhelmed. It gives you structure.
It really does. It helps balance out the emotional brain and the logical brain.
Which actually leads nicely into the whole idea of intuition, that gut feeling. The book dives into that too, right? It's not just some mystical sixth sense.
Not at all. What's fascinating is how he explains it. Intuition, that gut feeling, it's basically your subconscious mind on fast forward. It's pattern recognition built up from years and years of experience running below the surface.
So it's experience disguised as instinct.
That's a good way to put it. It's your brain taking a shortcut based on countless unnoticed patterns you've absorbed over time.
But the big question then is, should you just blindly trust your gut?
And the book's answer is pretty clear. No, not always. Intuition is really only valuable when it's built on a solid foundation of experience in that specific area.
So for a beginner, relying on intuition could be risky.
Very risky, potentially misleading. It's like a seasoned firefighter might feel that a building is about to collapse before any obvious signs based on subtle cues they've learned over decades. A rookie wouldn't have that database.
Right. Their gut isn't trained yet.
Exactly. It's trained through consistent, reflective practice. That whisper only carries weight when it comes from deep experience.
So how do you actually get better at hearing that whisper? Can you sharpen your intuition?
You can. Practices like meditation or simple breathing exercises can help reduce the mental noise, the constant chatter in our heads. That allows those quieter subconscious signals to become a bit clearer, a bit louder.
Like tuning a radio to get a clearer station.
Good analogy. Think of that experienced pilot sensing turbulence before the instruments show it, or the diver you mentioned feeling something's just off with their gear, even if the gauge looks okay.
Okay, so intuition can be a powerful ally in risk-taking,
Right.
but you need to cultivate it and understand when and how much to trust it. It's not magic, it's earned.
Well said. It's your brain's quiet friend whispering lessons from the past.
Which brings us to what the book really hammers home as the actual starting point for managing risk preparation.
Ah, yes. Huge emphasis on this.
It's not just about the moment of action. The risk management starts way, way earlier in the prep. He calls it the risk taker's first superpower.
Absolutely. And it's not just casual prep. It's meticulous, almost obsessive sometimes. It involves a really systematic approach.
Like what specifically?
Things like repeated rescue drills until they're second nature, mentally rehearsing panic scenarios, what would I do if X happened, detailed checklists, having backup plans, and backup plans for the backup plans, always asking what if.
So anticipating failure points.
Constantly. And a key part of this is humility. Overconfidence, he warns, is incredibly dangerous. It can be a huge risk in itself.
Thinking you know it all.
Right. True preparation means being humble enough to seek feedback, to acknowledge what you don't know, and to put your ego aside completely.
And what about when it's not just you? When you're taking risks as part of a team, that adds complexity, doesn't it?
Oh, massively. When other people's lives are in your hands or yours are in theirs, the stakes change. It requires something deeper.
Like what?
Absolute unwavering trust in your teammates and their specific skills. You have to know they can do their job under pressure.
Total reliance.
Yeah, and crystal clear roles. Everyone needs to know exactly what they're responsible for. Communication has to be lightning fast, precise, and brutally honest. No sugarcoating when things get tough.
And again, ego at the window.
Completely. It has to be about the collective mission, the collective strength. Your safety net is literally woven by the competence and communication of the entire team.
The Thai cave rescue story he tells must be a prime example of that.
It's the perfect illustration. Dr. Harris was right in the thick of it, rescuing those 12 boys and their coach. It wasn't one hero saving the day.
It's the team.
It was, as he puts it, a miracle of team effort. Divers from all over the world, specialists, support crew, every single person was a crucial link in that chain, a safety net for everyone else. It showcased incredible calmness, clarity, courage, all stemming from intense preparation and deep trust.
It makes you think, how can you apply that level of meticulous prep and teamwork to, say, a big project at work or even a family challenge? Building that safety net.
It's a really transferable concept, turning potential dangers into shared triumphs through collaboration and planning.
Okay, so preparation is key, teamwork is key. But what happens when things inevitably do go wrong? What about failure?
Failure. The book offers a really powerful perspective shift here. It challenges that common idea of failure as, the end of the road or some kind of punishment. Instead, it frames failure as invaluable information. It's feedback. It's a teacher providing priceless lessons you often can't learn any other way. He actually says failure is not the opposite of success. It is the path to success.
Wow, that's a fundamental reframe. So don't just sweep mistakes under the rug.
Absolutely not. Own them. Harris emphasizes owning your mistakes directly, not blaming circumstances or other people. He talks about a diving incident where a miscalculation almost ended badly. He didn't just regret it, he analyzed it intensely to learn from it.
So learning requires analysis, like those after-action reviews they do in the military.
Exactly that. Conduct them rigorously, with your team if applicable. What precisely went wrong? Why did it go wrong? How to prevent it next time? It requires honesty, and again, setting ego aside. It breaks down ego, but builds up wisdom.
And this links directly to resilience, right? Bouncing back.
Intrinsically linked. Resilience isn't something you're just born with. It's a skill, a process you learn and develop.
How do you build it then, according to the book?
It involves a few things. First, acceptance. Acknowledging the setback and the emotions that come with it. Frustration, disappointment, whatever. Don't suppress them, understand them.
Okay. Feel the feelings.
Second, build and lean on your support systems. Friends, family, mentors, maybe even therapy. Don't try to go it alone. Third, consciously adopt a learning mindset. See the failure as data, an opportunity for growth, not a reflection of your inadequacy as a person.
That's crucial. Shifting perspective.
Hugely, and that leads to transformation. There's a great quote related to this. Real strength is not that you never break, but that you put yourself back together even after breaking.
I like that. So every stumble, every fear faced, every mistake learned from, it's actually building you up, making you stronger, more adaptable.
Exactly. You're forging resilience, building new skills, gaining confidence through the very act of overcoming adversity.
But these skills, this resilience, this intuition, it's not like you learn it once and you're set for life, is it?
Not at all. That's another key point. The need for continuous practice. It's like a muscle or a musical instrument. Use it or lose it. Your risk instincts, your decision-making skills, they get rusty if you don't actively maintain them.
So how do you keep them sharp?
Through regular practice. Engaging in scenario drills, even hypothetical ones. Doing deep dives into new information related to your field. If relevant, actual simulations or cross-training, mixing physical, mental, emotional exercises to stay well-rounded.
And reflection, too.
Yes, reflective journaling after any significant challenge or mission, as he might call it. What worked, what didn't, what did I learn? Cementing those lessons is vital.
Harris himself noticed this, didn't he? Like after a break from dieting.
Yeah, he mentions noticing his decision-making slowed down slightly after time, away from regular cave diving. That realization immediately prompted him to get back into consistent drills.
So the goal is constant tuning, sharpening the edge daily almost.
Pretty much. So that when a real high-stress moment hits, your response isn't hesitant or panicked. It's more automatic, sharp, clear, because you've consistently practiced it.
It makes you think, how do you keep your own essential skills sharp, whatever your field is, personal or professional? How do you stay ready to perform under pressure?
It's a great question for everyone listening to consider. Now, if we kind of zoom out and connect all these dots,
Yeah, the big picture.
the art of risk isn't ultimately just about these extreme life or death scenarios. Risk is everywhere. It's like a lens we view life through, constantly.
From tiny daily choices to the huge life-altering ones.
Exactly. Career moves, relationship dynamics, parenting decisions, financial investments. It all involves assessing and navigating risk.
So the author provides a kind of integrated framework for living a life that acknowledges and manages risk well.
Yes, exactly. It brings together everything we've talked about. Your mindset, recognizing fear, learning to trust your trained intuition.
Preparation. Making mental rehearsal and deliberate practice a habit, not an afterthought.
Your team and support. Understanding that strength and clarity in navigating risk often come from collaboration and connection, not just solo effort.
Adaptive thinking. Getting comfortable with uncertainty, genuinely learning from failures, building that resilience muscle day by day.
And sharpening instincts. Those regular tune-ups to keep your responses sharp, confident, and ready when needed.
He talks about crucible moments too, right? Those really intense make or break situations.
Yeah, those pressure cooker moments. They can either shatter you or they can forge you into someone stronger, more capable. True risk takers aren't just defined by the risks they take, but by how they navigate and are shaped by these crucible moments.
And he points to examples like Alex Honnold climbing El Capitan without ropes.
Or Steve Jobs starting Next-T after being forced out of Apple. The point isn't that these people were born fundamentally different.
They developed the skills.
They developed these skills managing fear, meticulous preparation, learning from failure, embracing uncertainty through relentless, consistent practice over time.
Which leads to a really profound final thought, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes you ask, what if the biggest risk you can take is actually taking no risk at all?
By always playing it safe.
Yeah. By constantly avoiding challenges, avoiding uncertainty, you might miss out on incredible experiences, you limit your potential, you shrink your self-belief, and you might inadvertently turn your life into what Harris calls a safe prison.
Wow, that's a powerful idea. So wrapping this up, our deep dive into the art of risk really shows that taking risks isn't about being reckless or just lucky.
Not at all. It's about calculated decisions. It's a skill set you can absolutely learn and cultivate.
Controlling fear, thinking clearly under pressure, trusting that trained intuition.
Learning from failure, building resilience, preparing meticulously.
It's all part of the art.
So the final question for you listening is, when life throws a risky situation your way, big or small, and how will you respond? Will you instinctively pull back from the fear?
Or will you try to understand it? Maybe even embrace it. Use it as fuel to grow. Because as the book suggests, beyond that fear, that's where the real living happens.